So, straight after a beer review, this is going to be an ongoing series talking about homebrew. So, I went to creative winemaking in Ilkeston the other week. Went the wrong way. My God, it's hard to find on the sat nav. Come back through Stapleford or San Diego, whatever it was. Brilliant, you know. But the place itself, you get down there in the middle of the day, and you know, the range of beers and wines is fantastic. Now, I bought 5 kits. I've reviewed a couple. I've reviewed the Magnum Red, the Magnum Pinot Grigio. This is Carafe 21. It's one of the cheaper wines. I would say it was the red one I've done, as you can tell. If you look at the bucket, can you see the bucket? Yeah. So it's a red wine. It says it takes 21 days. I find with wines, don't stick to that 21 days, 7 days, 4 days. You know, it all depends on how long, the temperatures at the time of year you're doing it. For me, this shed is now, or my beer room as I like to call it, it's 70 degrees in here, so it's a nice temperature. The other week it was up to 90 in here, and the 2 brews I had on at that time brewed that fast that, you know, the bubbles were unbelievable, the mess was unbelievable as well. But anyway, let's get back onto it. So this is Carafe 21. This is a cheap, one of the cheaper brands. I've never tried it before, which is the reason why I wanted to try it. So, what it says: Carafe 21 contains full instructions on best ingredients to make 30 bottles. It doesn't say what type of wine, a red wine it does. So we'll take it as a basic red wine. You know, nothing special. It was $17.99, I think it was. So you're looking at 4 kilos of sugar. So that brings it up to about 20 quid. 20 quid, 66 pence a bottle. Wow, 30 bottles, you know, at 66 pence. Fantastic. That's, you know, no one wants to go to the shops and pay silly prices. Now, in another video, I'm going to show you how to sterilise, because you'll buy this. This was from Wilko's. So you go to Wilko's, you buy their kit. Now, what I would say is, you buy the kit, you get this on the top, which is the airlock. You'll get a tube that you stick in for draining purposes. A long tube, and then the bit that you stick in. You also get something you stick on the side that holds it in place. I lost mine, so that's great, because I have to hold it like an idiot now by hand and do it by hand. On some you might even get a paddle, you know, and you also get an hydrometer. For me, the hydrometer, unless you're, you know, somebody who wants to know exactly the percentage of alcohol you've got in there, you know, for me, all I want to know is that it's brewed and it tastes good. I'm not bothered about percentages, as long as it's roughly round about. If you're going to brew a red wine, it's anything from 11 to 15%. As long as you stick to the instructions, you know, there's not many variables in that. White wine's going to be anything from about 9% to about 13%, same with rosé really, unless you go for a fruity rosé, which might be even as low as 5.5. All depends on the beer kits you buy and how much sugar you use. So with this has been going there for about 17 days. I put the stabilisers in last night, and you put the stabiliser in, you swish it around, it starts to bubble, like so. And what's that doing? It's getting rid of some gases. Now them gases, you know, stabilising stops it from fermenting. But let's be fair, if you've left it long enough, the fermenting's already stopped. So you put the stabiliser in, you know, stabilisers in, it gets rid of them gases. You swish it about, you leave it. These say to leave it for, you know, an hour or so. Every wine kit's different. For me, I'll leave it a day. Yeah, don't be too quick, because you want to be slower. But you know, do your first kit, be a bit slower, less chance of it going wrong. So, you've got the instructions, you can read the instructions, you know, I don't really need to. You know, for me, most wines are pretty much the same actually, unless you go for the high-end wines and they've got potassium sorbates and all sorts of stuff in them. But for this one, I'm going to add the finings. Now there's 3 lots of finings to add. So, once fermentation is complete, pour the contents of pack C, the stabiliser, into the wine, stir vigorously for 1 minute to dissolve the stabiliser and remove the majority of the gas from the wine. I did it last night about, no, it won't be last night because I was drunk.
Yeah.
It would be about 3 o'clock yesterday.
No.
It is now 1 o'clock on Sunday, so I've given it quite a while. I gave it 2 or 3 swishes.
It's over 1 o'clock, by the way.
So now pour the contents of the finings 1 into the wine, stir gently for 10 seconds. So we're going to pour the first packet in, and then we'll pour it in, stir it, and then an hour later, this for some strange reason has got 3 lots of finings. What the finings do, finings clear the wine. But the funny thing is, in a lot of wines that you brew, that if you leave it long enough, the actual wine clears itself. Not on every kit, but on most kits, the wine will actually clear itself, especially the red wine kits. So you'll do that, and then after an hour it's telling you to put finings 2 in, and then another hour put finings 3 in. I'm not going to show you each hour because it's pointless. So I'm going to put finings 1 in. Luckily, most kits are the same anyway. So you've got finings 3, that's finings 3, that's finings 1, and the mega pack is finings 2. Look at the size of that. This stuff does not taste nice, so really you want to use scissors, but I haven't got scissors. So I'm going to use my teeth. But let me show you, let's show you the wine first anyway. So it's been going for about 17 days or so, and as you can see, it's not bad, you know. Bits round, don't worry about the bits around the edge, because when you, the finings will sort a lot of that out. So it's got a lovely smell to it. Pity you can't get smell of armour. Hey, that'd be great. Right. Whatever you do, don't taste it, because you know it's nasty. You know, do it with scissors if you can. If you can't, do it with your teeth. It's up to you. Better to do it with scissors. Don't follow my example. And then we're going to pour this in. Drain every last little bit you can. That's it. Put the lid back on. And then it says, stir gently for 10 seconds. Let's move this out of the way, because obviously if you're going to stir it with a, say you can't do what I'm going to do, and you're going to stir it, don't use a wooden spoon that you use for cooking other things, because you don't know what you're going to import into your wine. Use a plastic spoon, put it under the get a hot kettle, boil the kettle, get the spoon, pour it over, that sterilises the spoon, and then give it a good stir for 10 seconds. Or, with the airlock in place, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Simple as that. It'll bubble up, it's put some gases back into it. I mean, usually you associate the bubbles with fermentation, but no, there's obviously gases in there. But that'll help it, it'll help stir it up, get it round, and it'll help clear it. So obviously you're going to do that refinings 2, and then you're going to do that refinings 3. And then after finings 3, you're going to leave it 24 hours. So, on the next edition of this, we'll come back and I'll show you what it's like when it comes to draining it into a barrel. I use a barrel. You can drain it straight into bottles, but the problem is bottles. I use recyclable bottles. You know, why not? Why not save yourself some money? When you're homebrewing wine, you're not homebrewing to cost yourself money. We're homebrewing to save ourselves money, and you're protecting the environment at the end of the day, because these bottles, you know, you wash them out, you could use them, you know, for a couple of years. When I get to the stage that I can't clean the inside of the bottle out because I've brewed beer or something into it, and I can't, and it won't wash out by, you know, splashing water in and that, then I'll chuck the bottle away. But wow, you know, like my son, I've got a son with autism, and he loves lemon and lime still and sparkling. And so for me it's great, because these bottles are like 30p each. He drinks, and then we chuck the bottles away. Well, we're not chucking them away. I'm saving every single pop bottle I've got now. So in some ways, you're doing your bit for the environment, and also you're doing your bit for your wallet, which, you know, in this day and age, you've got to be prudent. Don't want to be paying supermarkets silly prices, especially when you can go to somewhere like France. And that went off then. Especially when you go to somewhere like France and you see what they pay, and then this country adds the VAT on, and we are charged ridiculous amounts of money for wine. And not all of us can afford to go down to France, go across and use their supermarkets and come back through customs. It's a long trek, you know. So home brewing is your next best alternative. And unless you're, you know, a real wine snob, you know, homebrew wine's going to taste just as nice as your shop bought stuff. You know, some people won't admit that homebrew does, but it does. I've tasted the shop bought stuff. I've tasted a lot of the shop bought stuff, and I've tasted the homebrew stuff. And apart from some kits I've got off Amazon, which were rancid, most of it, 99% of the kits are fabulous. You know, like all kits, go for what you can afford. Even if you do it through juice, which I'm going to show you very soon how to do it through juice. But all these, adding the stabiliser and the finings, you know, all this is an important part of the process. In future, one of my future ones I want to do is a sparkling wine, like your Prosecco's, and it's on my list very soon to do. So, the next video in this series is going to be the draining it from this into a barrel. Thanks for watching.